on June 29th. Same night as the Charlo fight. We've got Sulecki fighting Demetrius Andrade or Andrade. Andrade is 27-0, fighting Sulecki 28.
They were confused.
Yeah.
We'll confuse you guys. That's what we like to do.
So 27-0 for Andrade, 28-1 for Sulecki. Polish kid. They're fighting in Providence, Rhode Island. The line, bookmakers have Andrade as a big favorite, minus 450 to plus 300 for Sulecki. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yes, Sulecki stepped up, and I thought he made a very good showing when he did step up to that level we talk about, because if you're going to fight for the title against a talented guy, it helps to know that you've been at that level before, or you've been competitive at that level. Sometimes you don't have the benefit of knowing that, right? Yeah. But I use it again. If it's good, use it. If it makes sense, use it. When Ruiz fought against Joshua, the one thing he had going for him, besides the great heart that he showed, but the one thing he had going for him was he had fought Joseph Parker, lost a close decision, and he knew he belonged at a certain level. That wasn't a question. So that's important to know. And Sulecki knows he can fight at that level because he made a good showing against Jacobs. He came up short.
Lost the unanimous decision.
But he showed that he can compete at that level.
It's his only blemish.
Yeah. So that's good. But this is, a whole different kettle of fish. Because, first of all, to finish on Sulecki, I want to just say, like most Polish fighters, for some reason, they seem to have an aggressive, fan-friendly style, a fun style. I like watching Sulecki.
Yeah.
But he also knows what he's doing. There was a level of confidence, too. It wasn't just that, you hit me 4 and I hit you 2 back, No, he knew what he was doing in there. There was some polish there, too. But, like I said, against Jacobs, even though that level, and he had a good showing, even though he came up short, Jacobs is more conventional in style, more standard. And talented guy, good fighter, we know that. He just gave a tussle to Canelo and a tussle to Triple G. And he's a former world champion in his own right. And he's got a great story defeating cancer. But he's like I said, he's more prototypical. Andrade is anything but prototypical. Andrade is anything but conventional. Andrade is anything but standard. Andrade, as I said, I wore this Olympic shirt because I knew we were going to be talking about an Olympian. Andrade was in the 2008 Olympics. I caught those fights, and for NBC. And he was thought of as, I think in my book, my estimation, if my memory can stretch back that far, as maybe the most talented guy on the team. He disappointed.
Yeah.
And the whole team disappointed, to be quite frank. And they've continued to disappoint for many years, not getting to that level that we used to think of the USA Olympic team being on. But he's a very talented, first of all, his physicality. He's long, he's tall. I mean, he can hit you with a jab across the street.
Yeah.
And he's here. And he's got those long, kind of like Wilder with those long arms. He's got long arms. He's got good height. He's got the amateur pedigree. I don't know if it's 150, 200, whatever it is, fights. But he was an Olympian. He's got all that stuff going for him. And he's got physical talent. Mm-hmm. And he's awkward. He's unconventional. I'll tell you one thing. He doesn't make good fights. Mm-hmm. But that's part of his talent. Oh, mm-hmm. Teddy, what do you mean? What talent to not making good fights? He makes you fight his fight. He doesn't let you fight your fight. He takes your strengths away. That's a talent. That's a talent.
Yep.
And it's kind of like one of those superheroes in the comic books. I forget which one it was. Dr. Doom. but if it was someone else. It might have been with the X-Men. Might have been the girl. that if she took her gloves off, because you didn't want to touch her with the gloves off, because when she touched you, she took your strength away. Right there. I mean, she destroyed you, and sort of that's obviously a talent. That's why she was a mutant, and she was an X-Men woman, but Andrade has the ability to take your talent away, to not allow you to perform in your sphere, in your universe. He takes away your ability to do the things that you're comfortable, that you normally need to do, and you do. He makes it an ugly fight. He makes it his fight.
Yep.
He makes you fight his fight on his terms. And that's a talent. That's a talent. And I tell you, Triple G is not in a hurry to fight him.
Nope.
Not that he wouldn't beat him, but because of what I'm describing. Because first of all, it wouldn't be a scintillating fight. It wouldn't be a fight that everybody would want to mark on their calendar to be home to watch, because he doesn't make scintillating fights. He takes the air out of the room, a little bit like Mayweather. A little bit like Mayweather.
Yeah.
Mayweather didn't make good fights, but great fights. I mean, he made some good ones, and he was great. And I love Mayweather. But his great ability, he could take the air out of the room. He keep you from doing what you do. And that's a great talent. And Andre, to a certain degree, not to that level, and not to that level of excitement or theater either, but he's able to do that. He's undefeated.
WBO champion.
But he hasn't been active. There's been some warts in his career. He hasn't been active. He hasn't fought much. So that could catch up to you sooner or later. There's no doubt about it. His father used to be involved in his career, and then they had some falling out. I don't know exactly where that exists now, but he went through different things with promoters, different kinds of problems. But now he's never gotten to even though he's world champion, he wants to get to that Triple G fight or something.
That's right.
And obviously he's got to get through this to get to that mountain, if you will, to that pinnacle. And it is going to be, I say it all the time, boxing is about geography. Where you fight the fight in the ring. Is it in the geography you like or the geography I like?
Yeah.
Andre will be on the outside, and he will tie Sulecki, who likes to be aggressive, who knows what he's doing, slipping punches and stuff like he showed in Jacobs. But it won't be with Jacobs. It won't be with a standard guy.
Yeah.
And Andre he give him fits. Mm-hmm. He will put a wrinkle in his plans. He will tie him up in knots. If literally, figuratively, he'll tie him up if he has to. But he will fight in his geography with the long arms on the outside, mm-hmm. and not let Sulecki get to where he can maximize his ability in the geography that he needs, which is close.
Yeah,
he'd never let him get there for the most part. And so I think I broke it down as good as I want to break it down and can break it down. At the end of the day, Sulecki, a guy that fan-friendly, I don't know if he'll be fan-friendly that night, because of this guy's ability to make ugly fights.
How do you see it ending?
I see it going the route. Andrade has power, but he doesn't always sit down and display it. He's the kind of guy, your mentality drives your physicality, drives your physical talents. Your physical talents is a passenger in a car, and the mentality is the driver of the car. It takes those physicalities wherever the mentality can take it, or the driver takes it. He has the abilities to punch, but his mentality is to be more safety, more careful, more thoughtful in those ways, Andre being he. And because of that, he might drop. I could see him possibly dropping Sulecki, catching him some clean shots, trying to get in.
Yeah.
And making him expose himself and taking risk. I can see that. I can see Sulecki being on the floor, but he's got heart, I believe, and he'll get off the floor. I'm going to say that it's going to be not a prettiest fight in the world, and I'm going to say Andre's going to dominate, win a unanimous decision, possibly late round stoppage, maybe cut him up a little bit.
Yeah.
But definitely win the fight in a pretty handy way.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to wrap it up for today. I just want to give a special shout out again to our first sponsor, 10,000, maker of the best gym shorts in the world. Please check them out at 10,000.cc/thefight for a special coupon code for our listeners. Thank you again to everyone for all your support. For the record, these guys have over 2,000 5-star reviews, and they've got a 30-day no questions asked return policy. Get a pair of shorts, check them out. If you don't like them, send them back. They'll refund all your money. And thanks for being with us.